What's going on, y'all? St. Piper here, Black Natives. Hope y'all having a good night. I know I am. All things working for our good. Praise to Yahawah. All right. This is going to be a quick video. Basically going to break down the overall meaning of quarantine in this time and what it could possibly mean for you and how you could get the most out of this quarantine. All right. With all alphabets and numbers, there's a numerical value. So we're going to start with the numerological value of quarantine. All right. Numerology, if you don't know what it is basically the study of numbers and the meanings, the significance, and the value of those numbers. Because we know all things have energy, and where there's energy, there's meaning, there's purpose. And where there's meaning and purpose, there's a message to be shared. So we might be getting a message from all of these numbers, all of these alphabets, right? So that's basically where we're coming from. We can go through numbers to get the meaning of alphabets, and we could go through alphabets to get the meaning of numbers, because it's all relative. Just like we could do with colors, just like we can do with shapes, we could do with all kinds of things, because everything has meaning and everything's in relation to one another. All right. So we here, the numerological value of quarantine to start off. All right. There's only one rule when we're dealing with this. There is no numerical value over 8 when you're dealing with the alphabets. When you're dealing with the alphabets, there's no numerical value over 8. All right. So here we go. In a 1 column, we have AIJQY. All right. AIJQY. In the number 2 column, we have BKR. BKR. In the number 3 column, we have CGLS. CGLS. 4 column DMT. 5 EHNX. 6 UVW. 7 OZ. 8 FP. All right, pretty simple. You could go back over this video if you want. I'm gonna keep it moving. I don't want to be too long. All right, cool. Like I said, there's only one rule. There's no numerical value more than 8. All right, when you're dealing with the alphabets. Now with the numbers, you can go on, and it actually stops up in the teens. Really, it stops at 9, but you know what I'm saying. There's different meanings for different numbers, combinations. All right, let's break down quarantine. Now, when we're breaking it down, we're not going to divide, we're not going to multiply, we're not going to subtract. It's going to be all addition. All right, it's going to be all addition. All right, so we're going to add up all of these values. So we know from the chart that if you look up and down, you got Q, which is in a 1 chart. You got U, which is in a 6 chart. You got A, which is in a 1 chart. R, which is in a 2 chart. A1, N5, T4, I1, N5, E5. All right. So we're going to add these together. 1 plus 6 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1 plus 5 plus 5. That's going to come out to 31. And if you look at the way I break it down, I make it more simple. I go Q plus 6, which is a U, right? And I get 7. And then I go A plus R, 3. Then I go A plus N, 6. T plus I, 5, N plus E, 10. Then usually I break it down to the next level. 10, all right, 11, 10, 21, 10, 31. You know what I'm saying? That's a way to, I'm just doing the math to show y'all, right? Just how you break it down. But when you get to the end, you get that 31, you add the 3 and a 1 together, right? And that's how you break it completely down, and you get a 4, all right? So 4 is the actual most broken down value we could get from this. That's the actual base of this. That's actually going to be the energy of the word quarantine. Quarantine numerological value is actually a 4. All right. So when you're dealing with 4s, well, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that yet. So let's look at the definition of quarantine. All right. Quarantine definition, nouns. You have the first definition that matters to us at this point. A restraint upon the activities or communication of persons or the transport of goods designed to prevent the spread of disease or pests. All right. Restraint upon the activities or communication of persons or the transport of goods designed to prevent the spread of disease or pest. So that's looking like where we at right now, especially when you come into disease and depending on your perspective, pest. But we're really talking about the restraint upon the activities the restraint upon your physical in-person communication with certain people. And actually, we're going to talk about disease, all right? 2, another definition, a place in which those under quarantine are kept. So if you're in quarantine, you're actually in quarantine. The place you are in is quarantine. It is a quarantine. So first, it's a restraint, and now it's a place. So it can be, so right now, your house, when you're going under this 14-day quarantine, is a quarantine while you're in quarantine. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. All right. And then 3 is a state of enforced isolation. So you can be in a state of quarantine. You could be as free as a bird, and your mind could be in quarantine. And that's the one we don't want to be in, depending on who putting us there. You understand what I'm saying? Depending on who putting you in quarantine and the reason, the intentions why, you never want to be in a state of enforced isolation. Enforced. So quarantine as a noun, right, can be a restraint upon your activities, your communication, to prevent the spread of disease. All right. It could be a place in which the people under quarantine are kept. So it could be your place of business. It could be anywhere, a place. It's an actual physical thing, right? And then the last part is a state of enforced isolation. Enforced. All right. Give me a second, y'all, because I'm finna break this all the way down for you. Depending on who put you in isolation, who put you in quarantine, right? It could be good, it could be bad. Now, check this out. Quarantine also is a word of action. You know what I'm saying? It's a verb. When you looking at this and you seeing the previous definitions, it could get scary. It could get rocky. You thinking, man, this sounds pretty restricting. You know, it's sounding like imprisonment. It's sounding a certain way, but there's a good side and there's a downside, and I'm going to show you to you. All right, quarantine definitions for the verbs. All right. To detain in or exclude by quarantine. To detain in or exclude by quarantine. All right. So if I say I'm a quarantine you, that means I'm going to detain you in a quarantine or exclude you by way of quarantine. All right. 2, to isolate from normal relations or communication. Right? Just like we're going back to that word isolation. That's the biggest word right now, I'm thinking. Isolation, isolation, restriction, isolation. And that's actually very close to what we already know. Another word for that would be to be set apart. That's another way to look at that. To be set apart. To be set apart. That got a lot to do with separation. And also you could be set apart by being elevated. Holy. To be set apart. To be holy. To be holy. You see that? Now you can be set apart for different reasons, but the Israelites were set apart to be holy. You see that? Isolation for a reason. All right? Why are you being isolated? That's all this video is really about. Why and who is isolating you? What is the reason? All right, now when you look at animals, a lion will set its target apart from its herd because it sees it as a target. It sees it as an opportunity. It sees it as a resource. It wants to take advantage of that being, of that animal being by itself, so it can manipulate the situation, so it can take from it, so it can seize the moment, right? However, Yahawah with the Israelites, he took them out of Egypt, right? Put them into the wilderness, right? They was in a wilderness for how long? They was in there, what, for 40 years? They were supposed to be there for 11 days. 11, alignment, 11. If they were in alignment, 11. He put them in the wilderness to put them into alignment, to be aligned with the promised land, right? He put them in the wilderness to be aligned with the promised land, to actually help them. All right. So we already got it together. Quarantine has to do with isolation, restraint, discipline, restraint, isolation, discipline, restraint. It's a place, it's a state. All right. It's a place and it's a state, right? It's also an action. All right. So when you're talking about to be set apart, you got separation from, which is horizontal, and you got elevation, which is vertical. Now going up and going down is both elevation. Going left, right, north, south, east, west, that's still separation, right? Now why are we being separated at this time? Let's look at the number 4 meanings, because we know quarantine has the numerological energy of 4. It has a value of 4. That's this numerical value, right? What's the meaning of 4? Since we know that, what's the meaning? Practicality, responsibility, productivity, illumination and initiation, honesty and inner wisdom, determination and endurance, hard work and progress. Practicality, responsibility, productivity, illumination and initiation, honesty and inner wisdom, determination and endurance, hard work and progress. This is really important, y'all. This is really important. Some people going to have to be practical right now. It ain't all about social media. There's going to be a time coming soon, I believe, that is, your social media is going to do very little for you in terms of getting things done. The internet, those who want to live free will not be able to enjoy the internet like the rest of the people who choose to not be as free. I'm just going to put that out there, all right? Productivity. Right now is a great time to be productive. All right, when you're in quarantine, you can be productive. You ever wonder why those rappers come out of jail and they got 30,000 songs written, and they come out and they go on a big run and make a lot of money and they have a whole lot of influence? You know what I'm saying? When you isolate it, you know what I'm saying? John the Baptist was a wild man. He was out there in a wild. He lived in a wild. You know what I'm saying? He lived in Eden. He lived free. He was very productive. You know what I'm saying? He was able to help a lot of people directly and indirectly through Jesus. However you look at it, monks, they stay isolated. Monks, I know I went to St. John's University, and the Benedictine monks, they were isolated from a lot of the world. And guess what? They were productive. You should see the community they have. You should see the land that they have. You should see the system that they have built. Now you could be productive for your cause, you could be productive for Yahawah's cause. But the point is, this is a great time to be productive. Illumination and initiation. There's some things that's going to come to you during the dreams, because you're getting good rest now. There's some things that's going to be basically opened up to your mind, to your soul, and it's going to click. It's just going to click. And that's the things you should have been working on, you should have been running towards. And you're going to start on it. It's an initiation during this time, right? It's an initiation. Some of y'all are running from things, from the hustle and bustle of the world. And when you sit still, you're going to have to be honest with yourself. There's going to be some things that come to you, right? It's going to be some complete honesty that come to you, right? That's the number 4 for you. That's quarantine for you. Determination, right? Endurance. That's a big one. Determined to get through this. Enduring, right? Don't go crazy about this thing. Don't let your emotions get all out of whack. You know it's going to be over with. You know what I'm saying? Just be determined to be your best self and to endure during this hard time or during this uncertainty. You got it, y'all. Y'all got it. I want y'all to know that. And then there's hard work and progress. We're making progress, all right? It might be hard work, but we're making progress. Some of y'all got papers y'all still got to write. Some of y'all still in college. Some of y'all still got children. Some of y'all got to find a way to make ends meet, because all of the stores was out of this and the stores was out of that. And, this shut down. But it might be hard, but there's progress to be made and you can do it. But if you look down here, building solid foundation, stability, and ability. This is the biggest meaning for me, I think, for this point. Number 4 is huge for building solid foundations, y'all, and support and being helped. And it's really big on your what you're standing on, y'all, your ground. What is your stand and how do you stand firmly? What is your foundation, right? That's where we at. What is your foundation? We in this quarantine, we coming out with a brand new foundation, stronger than ever. Unshakable, unbreakable. That's how you supposed to come out. Or is you going to come out with a house built on sand and mud and, you know, they ain't got nothing holding it together. You just got walls and you ain't got no good foundation. That's going to come down. Don't make these promises like when you come out, you're going to go hard and you're going to do things differently. And there's no foundation. Y'all got to pray. Y'all got to meditate. That's how you get your foundation. Y'all got to pray. Y'all got to meditate. Y'all got to get with Yahawah. Y'all got to do something different, man. And if you're already doing that, then big ups. Keep it going. Nah. So right now, I'm building a solid foundation for when you come out of the quarantine. That's the biggest thing. All right. Stability, support. That's where we at. Now, the question of who set you apart. Well, we know the government is doing this, right? But there's an opportunity for the real two players in this. The Shaitan and Yahawah. Yahawah, God, whoever you think is the positive up there. Shaitan, the resistance, the opposed one, right? Y'all say Satan, I say Shaitan, Yahawah. All right, we already went over that there's separation and elevation, right? We are being set apart for a reason. Are you being set apart for an attack, or are you being set apart for a healing? Are you being set apart for a positive manifestation? That's what's going on with this quarantine, y'all. I need y'all to see this. Yahawah, he's separating you to the right, and he bring you up. He's trying to elevate you upwards. Separation is good, but elevation is the ultimate goal, y'all. Elevation is the ultimate goal. The Shaitan, he will also separate you, but he will bring your elevation down. Your energy is going to be worse than ever. You're going to be scared. You're going to be fearful. You're going to be weak. You're going to be dependent. You ain't going to have no faith in Yahawah. You're going to go ahead and get that vaccine so fast so you can go back to work and just do what you did right before, but sicker. That's what Shaitan wants. That's what the Shaitan wants. The opposed one. But Yahawah, our one true creator, our mother and father, source, spirit, creator of the universe and all things positive, loving, and caring. He wants to bring you upwards to be the best you ever been. Be set apart. Be holy like the Israelites. In this quarantine and after. Be better. What's your elevation going to be? All right. The number 4 means building solid foundations. Building solid foundations, y'all. Being productive. Illumination. Initiation. Endurance. Inner wisdom. But the biggest one, building solid foundations and stability. And we already know the definition means to be set apart. Isolation. Who is isolating you and why? I'm not giving y'all the answers. I'm just giving y'all good questions. Easy questions. You choose who. You can't choose who isolates you, but I guarantee you this. You could choose how you handle it. So what, the government doing this and the Shaitan's doing that? He weak. Who give a damn? But what Yahawah say? What he gonna do for you? What you gonna allow? Because permission is everything. Who you giving permission to in your life? How you gonna handle this? Come on, man. Quarantine, cocoon, butterfly. Come on, man. I've been seeing nothing but caterpillars and butterflies. And I finally get it making this video. We going into quarantine to come out better. Please, y'all, don't be the same and don't be worse. You can't be the same. You can only get better or get worse. That's facts. That's why your muscles atrophy if you don't work out. If you just don't eat, you're gonna start. That's gonna have an effect on you too. You can't be the same. So, what you gonna do? Yahawah's way, elevate upwards while we separated, or you gonna go down with your time and have to do control for your damage control. Come on, y'all. I love y'all, man. This ain't Piper. This is a more serious video, but I need y'all to understand this. I done showed y'all how to read the numbers. I done showed y'all how to read the alphabets, the definition of quarantine, how it relates to history, how animals separate, for what reason, who is separating you. All you got to do, I did all the work for you. All you got to do is choose. And you got to be practical about it. You can't just say, well, I'm going to go with Yahawah. You got to be practical. Do something different. I told you, pray, meditate. Shut the hell up. Get off of social media and get by yourself and just don't say nothing. Think. Ask for the truth. Write that paper. Read that book. Learn that language. Start that business. What are you doing? You're isolated for a reason from normal relations or communication. Look, man, I love y'all. And this has been the numerological value of quarantine and the overall message meaning. Look at that. I'm out.